Welcome to 2022. We're here. It's gonna be a great year. I'm excited. Are you excited? Did you make some personal New Year's resolutions? I hope you did. It's good for you. You should. You'd be a lot cooler if you did. "2021 was an eventful year.
Together, we shall write an American story of hope, not fear, of unity, not division, of light, not darkness."
A metre-long Ever Given got stuck on Tuesday morning, running aground in high winds, reportedly after a power failure on board.
As for the Delta Plus variant, not enough data is available to know how it interacts with immunisations.
On the inside, and it's a world record again!
The dream has been realized.
Celebratory gunfire filled the air. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stopping short of labeling the Taliban as the legitimate Afghan government, but acknowledging the country is now in the hands of the Taliban.
That is phenomenal. Ooh. So special. That is a special player we're watching. That's a great connection.
He noted that more than 100 Kentuckians are unquestionably unaccounted for.
Breaking news at this hour, we have just learned of the passing of the beloved entertainer Betty White at the age of 99.
For me, 2021 was a year of resolution, and more importantly, of redemption. I spent New Year's Eve on a short vacation to Florida to celebrate everything that had happened in 2021, the good, the bad, the ugly, the divine. It was a time spent relaxing, taking my mind off everything. I was able to reflect on this previous year and plan for the new one. I'm not gonna go back over everything that happened to the end of 2019 and 2020. If you wanna see that, you can check out the first vlog, resolution, last year. I'll post the link in the description and do the tag and stuff like that. At the beginning of 2021, I was ready for change. I was ready for adventure, for something new, for something exciting, for something that could provide me with a little more hope. And I was full of optimism starting this journey, and I still am, maybe even more. I went 100% all in on this media company, Tayami Media. And I started this venture without knowing exactly how it would play out. You know, had a plan, we stuck to the plan more or less. And I was fortunate enough to have a lot of opportunities to do some really exciting projects, some fun things with cool people. Through that process, I learned so much about what it means to be a creator in this field from the other side of the camera. I learned about the value of the product I was producing, how to properly plan out and execute a video production, the time it takes to edit it and finish it, the limitations of the final when not nurtured properly in a post-creation publication way of speaking. I pushed myself into areas like photography where I didn't feel comfortable, and I learned how different it is compared to videography. But most importantly, I learned how to combine many creative fields into one well-produced product. Videography, photography, graphic design, copywriting, SEO, it's all gotta be there. To be honest, it takes even more, but we'll get to that. So the big question is, did we accomplish our 2021 resolution? Yes, we did. Did it go as we expected it to? No, it didn't. But guess what? That's totally fine, and I even welcome it. I'm glad I did. Every bump in the road makes you better, makes you a better driver, so to speak. Handling turbulence builds that skill. It shows you how to navigate in a rough environment. If you're only smooth sailing, you're not going to learn any of the little tricks and things that make you a more capable individual. So I wouldn't trade those moments for anything. You can't buy that with money. There's no course or class or book that will teach you what navigating stormy waters and having your boat break apart and then you have to just figure out how to sail the pieces of wood to the destination. Now let's explore the business model that we had thought that we were going to be and then what it actually ended up being. First of all, I grossly overestimated the number of projects that I would be able to handle at one time. I thought as long as, I spent the appropriate amount of time on pre-production and planning, that things could go real smooth and I could just churn out a lot of projects really fast. Now this is partially true, but there were things that I didn't understand that I hadn't factored into that equation. Some of it comes down to simple scheduling and times and things like that. Like if you schedule a day and it's an outdoor shoot and it rains, you have to move that back. Now what if you had another project lined up? Conflict. What are you gonna do now? Now you're playing leapfrog with your projects, everything's out of order. You're gonna give yourself a heart attack. All the planning in the world sometimes doesn't work. For example, the Your Bedroom shoot that I did with Sunday Drives, that video was supposed to have like 6 to 8 other people in it. There was supposed to be a ton of on-screen talent involved in that production. The scenes that we had planned out, the shot list, the storyboards, then the day of the shoot, no one's able to make it. No one's able to be there. None of the talent, leaving only the band and myself with the camera. But guess what? The show must go on. Did we reschedule? Did we stop? Did we say, okay, that's fine, let's go back to the drawing board? No. We turned the camera on, we thought on our feet, we're quick, we're nimble, we made it happen. Editing also takes so much longer than I thought it would. Like you see pictures of it, like just easy peasy. No, it's a painstaking process, especially color grading. Color grading I had zero experience with, didn't really understand what that even meant. So that took a long time, but by doing that, color grading is now one of my favorite things to do. A thing that I didn't even realize was going to be part of my process is now maybe my favorite part of the process. Another big thing I learned that time and vision don't necessarily align with the budget. As a creative service professional, you want your clients to, not only enjoy the final product, but you want them to be blown away. But unless you want to go completely broke, you have to learn how to set healthy professional boundaries and stick to your guns. I started making sure that no matter how big or small a project is, there is a contract involved. You want to make it very clear, how things are going to happen, when they're going to happen, where they're going to happen, how are you going to pay for it, what are you responsible for, what am I responsible for, all in black and white, so there's no confusion and everything's hunky-dory. The coolest part about a contract is that it protects you as a creator, but it also protects the client. It gives you a little bit of accountability as a creator, because if you don't follow through with what you promised on that piece of paper, not only does the client have a right to demand for all of their money back, but they can also potentially sue you for damages by you fumbling the bag. Welcome to 2022. We're here. It's going to be a great year. I'm excited. Are you excited? Did you make some personal New Year's resolutions? I hope you did. It's good for you. You should. You'd be a lot cooler if you did. As we all know, most New Year's resolutions fail. Most people that set New Year's resolutions don't stick to them, not even after the first 3 months of the year. I'm gonna tell you why. The goal that you're setting might not be big enough, not specific enough, and it doesn't matter enough. For example, the most common New Year's resolution has something to do with the body, whether it's exercise, diet, fitness, weight loss, whatever. As an example, let's say that your New Year's resolution is you want to lose weight. You want to lose weight by the end of 2022. I applaud you, very ambitious, very achievable, but let's look deeper. The goal of losing weight, while it is good, is not big enough. You need to replace these words. You need to replace I want to lose weight with I want to become a slimmer, fitter person. See how that feels? See how more permanent the second one sounds? See how much bigger it is? See how much scarier it is? Bigger goals are more intimidating, but by setting up a marathon, you're actually giving yourself more time to achieve it. When you set up something that's not big enough, you, in your mind, subconsciously create a very short finish line for yourself, which then means that let's say your distance to failure is very small. And this is where we make the goal more specific, because instead of setting yourself this finish line, you need to define behaviors and habits that you want to incorporate into your personhood. Let's go back to our example. Say you want to lose 50 pounds. Now that sounds specific, but you've now set a finish line, and this is not specific enough. You need to define specific behaviors and habits that you want to form to get you to that goal. In the case of the weight loss, it could be, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week, and I only want to eat out 1 time a week. Step 2 in this strategy is to then gradually introduce that into your life. I know we just said 3 times a week for the gym, right? Let's start with 1 time a week. That might be enough. Actually, let's start with getting dressed and getting to the gym, but actually not even working out. Now this might sound counterproductive, but we're forming a new habit. Human beings, like you, like me, are creatures of habit. We're creatures of pattern, and we need to define our patterns and our habits. Some psychological researchers have done studies, and they've shown that it takes the average human roughly 21 to 66 days to adjust to new habits and make them automatic. The thing about resolutions is most of them fail before the 66-day mark. Now, are you creating a pattern here? Are you seeing the pattern that I'm seeing as well? We have a pattern of not incorporating these habits into our lives, making it easy to achieve the goal. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and don't beat yourself up. I know that these sound intimidating already. We've made the big goal now even bigger and more complicated to achieve, I know. But listen, the ultimate question here is our third question, because we can do all of the above, but if the goal doesn't matter enough to you, you simply won't do it. If your goal is weight loss, you have to ask why. Why do I want to lose this weight? Is it a short-term dopamine hit that I'm seeking? Is it some sort of revenge on someone else? Is that why I'm doing it? What are my motivations? Because if your motivations aren't big, if it doesn't matter enough, then you're going to get the first hit of dopamine, which in the case of weight loss, let's say you go really hard for 2 weeks, you lose 10 pounds, you feel great, you look at yourself, you take some selfies in the mirror, the scale's smiling back at you, you get that big rush of dopamine. So now it feels like you've already crossed the finish line. Now you're going to start congratulating yourself, treating yourself, celebrating. You're going to start breaking those habits because, we've done so good, we can jump right back on there. You haven't even done it for 66 days. It's not even a habit yet. It's not even a routine. And since it doesn't matter enough in the long term, you're off the reservation. You've left the building. I want to go back real quick and recap this and give you one last thing to think about. The strategy that I just laid out is gradual, which is healthy, but there's one thing you have to do that must be immediate. You have to go cold turkey on the old you. The old you is someone that's not capable of achieving the goals that you're setting. That's why you never do. And if you don't fundamentally change you, if you don't flip the switch, if you don't go from blue to red or wherever setting you are now, you will never achieve the goals you want to achieve. This is not something that happens gradually. This is not something you can wean yourself off of. This must be a complete and total cold turkey change right now. Once you've done that, then you can begin applying a gradual strategy to implement the kinds of behaviors and habits that will accomplish your goals. And let me tell you, there's no dopamine hit, there's no short-term thing that's going to feel better than walking into 2023 with huge accomplishments, with massive achievements. Not only for yourself professionally or whatever, but your mindset. You've now proven to yourself that you are a person capable of winning. There's no better feeling. There's no greater feeling. It's what I live for. It's the best. Be patient, be fearless, okay? Best of luck to you. Now that we're in 2022, resolution 2.0 for you here, and we got some big ones. My first resolution of the year, and these are not in any particular order of importance, by the way. These are not the droids you're looking for. First resolution of 2022 is I want to vertically advance my skill set. Now let me explain what I mean by that. We're gonna need to go to our whiteboard, and I want you to imagine this in a 3-dimensional space. I know this is a 2-dimensional space, but I'm not a 3D designer, so deal with it, use your imagination. In order to grow horizontally, let's say, you just need to expand your skills this way. This is like widening your skill set, and if these are the current skills that you're good at, you want to start making other skills like that. But this is fairly easy to do, to begin. But the taller that you want these skills to go, the harder it is when you are horizontally spread out like this, because time is a static thing. It's a constant. So what I want to do is take the skills that I'm already fairly good at. I'd say, competent, mediocre really, but I want to go up. So I want to take them farther up. I want to get better at what I already know. Now there's a relativity to this, because like most structures, if you have some, support on the sides, then it's actually easier to go taller because, it's structurally sound. You also need to go deep too. You need roots, like a tree. A tree's roots are what give it the structural support to go higher. So it's a vertical growth, and also I guess there's a vertical this axis and this axis, whatever. Anyway, that's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is I want to expand Tiami's team. And this kind of piggybacks on the idea we were just talking about here, because since I want to vertically grow my skills, I want to work with people that have the skills over here, and they're vertically growing those skills. So they're specialists, and that we're not really overlapping. There's some overlapping here. But by incorporating these specialists in, that creates this structural support. You understand? That way you can go even higher. And then if you want to go even higher, need more structural support, need more horizontal people on my team. Grow higher. You get the idea. Resolution number 3, I want to expand Tiami's services horizontally. So before we leave our whiteboard here, let's just do this, because I don't want Tiami to be just a video production house. I learned that in 2021. The idea of simply vertically scaling that business model, up from where we are now to, now we're doing, we're working with bigger cameras and crews, and I want to keep scrolling up until now I can work with the top of the line Arri cinema cameras, and I'm, working for Disney making Marvel movies, and that's not me. I don't have the skills or the mindset to be a top tier cinematographer. I just simply don't. That's knowing my personal limitation. What does interest me is how media affects people. And so horizontally, we can begin offering services that tie in to that interest. This then also ties into the vertical integration of the skills around those subcategories of services. What interests me is not nailing the best lighting with some Kino flows. That does nothing for me, for real. What does get me going is, how does it make someone feel? How do you stop someone's scroll? Where are they going to watch it? Are they watching it on a phone? Are they watching it in a theater? All of this plays a very important role in not only the production of the visual of the media, but how long it is, how the script works, how you need to schedule it, how you need to publish it. That's fascinating to me. I like that stuff. So what does that mean? It's basically, we want to have a more 360 vision of what media can offer. So while video still is our number 1 focus, because it is, in the current day and age, the gold star. Video is the number 1 form of media. It's the most effective in every category. But begin to support that horizontally with other skills and services, allowing our success rate to vertically integrate. I hope this made sense. And this is kind of cool. I like this. The key factor, and I didn't mention this before, is sacrifice. This comes into, does your goal matter enough? I know we're jumping back into it. If your goal matters so much to you, you are going to be willing to sacrifice other things that you love, not just like, other things that you really love. You're gonna cut them off in order to achieve something that matters even more. That's the key factor. If you're not able to do that, if you won't cut off things that you like for something that you really want a little bit more, you're never gonna do it. Thank you guys for being with me 1 year. I'm looking forward to more. I wish you the best of luck in 2022. We're gonna really do great things this year, and I believe that all of you can do great things. You can do whatever the thing is that you want the most. Let's do it together, and I'll see you next week. Oh no! Oh no! I took too long.